Okay, now that our content is the length, we can go ahead and start adding our other elements. At this point, what I'm going to do is design the interface that's going to go on the screen here. I'm going to do this by adding additional layers, and each of those layers will have either text or solid colors on them. And here I go. Let's build this thing. From my layers menu, so I notice I clicked down here in the timeline. I will go to the layer menu. I will choose new solid. I'm going to create a solid that is as wide as this screen, but maybe only 60 pixels tall. And I'll choose this steel blue color. Hit OK. And there's the item. Notice that that is above my image. My background image, the movie, is on the bottom layer, and then the solid that we just made is on top of that. I'll move this into position. Just going to anchor it near the top of the screen. That's good. I'm going to add a text element here. Just use the type tool, type in menu. I want that font to be a line left as it is. Let's try making it about 36 point, and let's make it bold or heavy, and I want it to be white. And then I'll move it into position. So again, notice that my text layer is on top of the blue bar, which is on top of the background. If you happen to move these around by accident, you could hide things, where in this case the menu is on, or the background video is on top of everything else, so we can't see it. Here the text and the background are on top of my menu bar, and then here they are the correct way I want them to be. I'm also going to add a sub menu because in our original piece we had a bunch of categories under here. Let's go back and look at that source video again. Here in my source video, we'll see that I have room service, lights, Uber, and things to do. So those are 4 items that we're going to add here. I'm going to add another copy of this solid blue here. Just grab it down to my timeline. This one's not going to be as tall, so I'll make it, scale it down a little bit. I'll move it up. And I also want to change its opacity. So with that layer selected, I will hit T for transparency and set this to, let's try 60%. That's too pale, so let's try 75. It's probably a little better. I'm going a little fast here because I'm creating this video so that you can pause it, go back and look to see what you miss, and hopefully catch everything. But again, this is just a recap of what we did in class. So this item here is my lower menu. So now I'll add my text for my lower menu. And this has things like room service. And I don't want my text to be heavy anymore. I'll go down to book. And it's also way too big. So let me try 18 point. And now I'll move it into position. And then I'll make my next one. I can make each next one individually, but what I'm going to do here is I hit Command D to duplicate. Put one here. Instead of just Command D, I can also right-click on it. I thought I could. I can select it here, go to the Edit menu, and choose Duplicate. Gives me another one. And then I'll duplicate one more copy. Over here. So now for this last one, it'll be things to do. This one here is Uber. This one here is, I don't remember, lights. And when I did that, you'll notice each one, because they were all aligned left, they don't really fit that nicely there. I have a couple of options here. I can select them all and set them to align center and move them, or I could just move them individually. Doesn't really matter because this is just a demonstration, so I'll move them there. So look at that. Now I have my menu system on top of my background, and this is sort of the start for this project. But you'll notice we have a whole bunch of links here, or I'm sorry, layers here, and we're barely into the project itself, and we'll be making some additional layers and doing some other things. So I want to tidy this up a bit. We're going to use a mechanism to get this tidy, and it's called a pre-comp. Essentially what we do is we say, hey, I like where all of these pieces are, so let me make these all into one unit, a pre-composition, and then we can animate that pre-comp, or we can edit that pre-comp, or we can do all kinds of things. So I'm going to do that now, and I want to show you and walk you through the process. The idea here is we separate our foreground from our background. So I will shift select each one of these, or you can select the first one and then shift all the way to the last one. So you notice I have all those things selected. We're going to make all these into their own compositions, which means essentially it's going to truncate all of these down into one item. So to do that, I will go to my, which is it? I will right click down here and choose pre-compose. When I do that, it pops up with window and says, okay, you want all of these elements to be in their own composition. What do you want to call it? I'm going to call it main menu. And I'll leave these settings the way they are. When I do that, you'll notice here, now I have something called main menu, where all the top layers items are. But you'll also notice over here, I now have a new composition called main menu. I'm also going to spend this time to clean this window up. I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to call this folder comps, which stands for compositions. And then I'll put my main menu in there and my window menu in there. So those are part of that.